Spiritual mind management, the truth about our natural trance abilities to ponder and meditate. We are to be renewed in the spirit of our mind. We are far better equipped spiritually and mentally than previously known or understood. This video and all information is copyright, all rights reserved, to W. Dennis Parker Enterprises Incorporated, doing business as Certified Hypnotherapy Training and School. Greg Bickmore and Dennis Parker joined to bring you years of experiential learnings, client experiences, and testimonials in this new explanation of how behaviors are created and how we can change them with new spiritual and mental skills. We can accomplish the changes we have always wanted. We can become the person we want to be. This video, entitled Spiritual Mind Management, and the practice and principles taught here will give you awareness of spiritual and mental capacities that are already inherently within us, our natural God-given agency of mind, and our abilities to choose what is right, true, and correct for us by doing personal introspection pondering, meditation, and critical thinking will be enlightened and enhanced. We are far better equipped as children of our Heavenly Father than previously understood. You will come to know of our powers of agency and choice in new ways, gaining greater appreciation for individual accountability and personal responsibility, the acceptance of which, combined with the truth, sets us free. We were sent here to be Saturday's warriors, and not Saturday's spiritual, mental, and emotional wimps. In a recent conference, we were told to step up and man up. Just in starting, how has the mind management stuff that we went over last time, how's it been working for you?
Good.
Good?
Yeah.
So it's been about a week since we did that last session. And tell me, when you say good, what have you noticed in the way you're able to control your emotions, your memories, your imagination? How's it, give me an example of what good means.
Well, there's been events that, or comments that have been made in the last week by just dumb individuals that would generally really bother me, but it made it so much easier for me to process it and respond and not have any emotion, negative or positive type to it. Just kind of fact, like this is what it is, and then be done with it instead of like dwell on it like I would have.
Excellent. Yeah.
So that was good.
That's pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, it was exciting. I was glad to not be upset about it.
Good. Good.
Again?
Okay. Thank you for doing this. This has been wonderful. So thank you very much for being here and being willing for us to watch you. But my question is, in between your sessions, how much did you find your mind working on it?
By itself or like willingly? I mean,
Both, actually.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear. Both? Okay, well, I don't know. It was almost like an everyday thing. It was almost like I would go to sleep, and instead of thinking of like, oh, I have to do this, and I haven't done this yet, and I still, I have to work tomorrow, and I really don't want to work tomorrow. It was more like, it was more positive. It was more like, it's going to be okay, and I'll be able to get all this done. And I would like plan it out very easily, and I would sleep very easily. And it was mostly at night when my mind would wander is when I would think about it most, I think. I don't think that I would treat myself consciously until I felt sick, or until I felt not right. I don't know, sick, yeah. more, I don't know. That's the only time that I would treat myself consciously. I think when I would let my mind just wander, it would start thinking of things easier. It would start organizing itself almost. Yeah, I guess it's kind of hard to explain, but yeah, organizing itself is a good way to explain it. So,
how far into the process were you before you started seeing changes in yourself?
Around probably my second session. My first one, I went away. My mom was like, okay, well, tell me everything about it. What happened? I was like, well, I don't really know how to explain it. I was like, it's kind of interesting. I'll have to see what happens next time. And then the second session, we went into a few deeper things and got a few other things cleared. And I don't know, I came out and the sun was brighter outside. Like, my emotions were brighter. I was really happy. I was able to communicate, like, with my mom, like, well, this is what happened and this is how I feel. And I was able to talk to her about, like, things that she might not have known affected me, but they did. And, like, explain to her, well, like, when you do this, like, this affects our whole family.
Tell me just a little bit about what you have noticed. What have you done since the last time we met? You mentioned a couple of stories about where you were able to figure out what you were doing, and you kind of mentioned that you were applying the principles and you were able to attach and detach, that kind of stuff.
Right.
Anything bigger come to mind?
Well, I think something that would be huge for people that can't sleep, and when I wake up in the middle of the night or early morning and something starts going through my mind, it has been enormously helpful to be able to make it really large and realize where it is in my brain and then bring it back to center. And even though you start running like on the hamster wheel, where you start the same thing going over and over in your mind, that it's, even though I haven't perfected it so I can do it in 2 minutes, I can tell the difference because I can bring it back to balance, and then if it starts going out again, I can tell where it's going. And just to be able to sleep and to be able to say, this really isn't that big of a deal. You're making one little statement or one little thought into your whole life.
So
and it isn't.
So being able to adjust your imagination is a big deal.
Right. It is huge. And being able to see things in perspective.
So then I came to you the second time, and
just take your time.
I've hated my father for basically my whole life. And so the first time I did a session, I thought I got over that. But it unlocked a bunch of different stuff to where I got confused about how to feel about it. And so the second time, I got to the point where I don't necessarily like him, but like all the pain is mostly gone. Like I can understand it and move forward. And so that's pretty life-changing, to sit down and, after hating someone and just not understanding it for 30 years, to get over it in a couple of hours it's pretty amazing. I mean, I have a relationship with him now, and I don't have like any intention of becoming close because I don't want that. I mean, I'd like it if he was a different person, but I can like recognize that that's not something that's going to happen with the type of person he is, but it's no longer like, I don't think it like hurts me day to day. But he's around me, and there's constant stimuluses, and I have to do a lot of mind management stuff to like not let myself slip back into the anger and frustration. So there's some of it there, but that's just like, if a dog keeps biting your heels, you want to kick it now and then, but you don't hate it as much. You get used to it and understand the situation and what it's doing. So it's been pretty powerful. That's why I'm here.
Good. So the mind management stuff that we've been through has helped you.
Yeah, and it's really hard. It's really hard. I didn't realize before this how 90% of the time I'm off thinking of something else or imagining another scenario.
And when you say hard, you mean it's hard because you have to stop and really think about it and do the work.
Yeah, like if 90% of the time I'm thinking about something else in my imagination, and 90% of that's negative, it's like, it's second to second challenging thoughts that are coming to my mind about what I'm thinking, and changing future expectations, and challenging whether or not someone's judging me or someone's motivations, and I don't, and then I have to stop and remember that I don't actually know their intentions. I don't know that this outcome's going to turn out bad, and I didn't realize I spent like all the time doing it. Like I get fixated, and so that part is what I say. It's a struggle to stay positive, I guess.
Keep from being fixated into a whole thought pattern.
Right.
Craig grew up in Cedar City, Utah. He fulfilled an LDS mission to California and then attended the now Southern Utah University. He met the love of his life, Lori, married and began raising a family and working part-time in several businesses to pay for life and school. He also attended Utah State University, where he received an MBA in Business Administration. For the past 24 years, he has been employed with one of Utah's finest trade associations, which has given him the opportunity to work with various members of the Utah legislature, regulatory agencies, both state and federal, and participate on volunteer boards related to that association. He currently serves as the co-chair of the American Cancer Society Advisory Board of Utah and is involved with many others in the state who are engaged in the fight to eliminate cancer. For over 20 years, one of his greatest passions has been the development and practice of hypnosis and hypnotherapy in Utah. He works diligently at educating others in the true utilizations and benefits of trance hypnotherapy. He brings to people the understanding that hypnosis, once understood and applied, can be one of the most effective and powerful tools in overcoming life's challenges and concerns. He knows that the basis of climbing upward in self-improvement processes is about focusing and refocusing on what you want and eliminating the obstacles that impede personal progress, regardless if those obstacles are self-caused or arise from other circumstances. He has successfully overcome many of his own life's challenges by implementing the principles of hypnosis that he now teaches to others. Craig has worked with many people who share his zest for life and have applied the techniques in self-hypnosis and hypnotherapy to improve their life and the lives of their family members. After all, what do you have to lose except a few bad habits or a non-productive belief or two? Craig is the father of 6 children and is an ACHE certified clinical hypnotherapist. He believes in the following adage: if you want to make significant gains in your life that are geometric in nature, then you have to take the required time to learn and practice the principles of hypnosis and self-hypnosis, because it will get you where you want to go faster than anything else he has ever experienced. Craig is a board member of the Hypnotist Examining Council of Utah, and active as a guest presenter and lecturer at Certified Hypnotherapy Training School in Farmington, Utah. About Dennis. Dennis is a noted certified clinical hypnotherapist registered with the American Council of Hypnotist Examiners since 1991. He is a board-certified hypnotherapist examiner, instructor, and approved school operator. He is a motivational, inspirational public speaker and sales trainer. He does numerous seminars and workshops on mind management for a variety of applications. His stress mind management programs have been a favorite. These programs are life-changing and really work. He has developed several unique applications of hypnotherapy and proprietary techniques of mind management and other hypnotherapy protocols that he teaches and applies to the personal career development of himself and others. He is the primary instructor and director of Certified Hypnotherapy Training School, where he teaches others what he has learned over the past 22 years of doing clinical hypnotherapy. Dennis is a contract clinical hypnotherapist at Advanced Health Clinic, where Certified Hypnotherapy Training School is held and broadcast online nationwide in live virtual classroom settings. Dennis does individual sessions of hypnotherapy there as well as group trainings in mind management at the clinic. Advanced Health Clinic brings together talented doctors and therapists from different modalities to provide traditional and alternative natural healing methods and practices into a blend of services which are calculated to meet individual needs, providing appropriate benefits to each client.
Hi, I'm Martha Bray here at Advanced Health Clinic, and we had a clinic retreat with Dennis Parker on hypnosis, and one of the reasons we did that is because we wanted everyone here at the clinic to know and understand what he does and how it works. And I personally am a big fan of hypnosis. I know it's very effective and very helpful, and I think there's a lot of misconceptions about hypnosis and a lot of fear, and so I think one of the greatest things that he does is in his explanation of how it works and where it started and what's involved, so that people can understand what it is that they're doing and what they're getting into. And so we had the retreat so that everyone could know and understand that. And I didn't understand at all really before this how group therapy worked, because I thought, I've done individual hypnosis training, and I've done a lot of hypnosis with different types of people. And first of all, I want to say Dennis is one of the best ones that I've ever worked with, and which is why we have him in the clinic, because we like only the best at our clinic. And so I was a little skeptical about the group thing because I didn't know how that would work or if it was effective. But the thing that's interesting about group therapy is, he'll do some individual, he does a group thing together to kind of get everybody, kind of in the right mode and kind of learning how it works. And then he will do a group, and in group, he'll take individual people and help work with them, and then the other people are working on their stuff at the same time. And for the people in the group, it was a fantastic experience because they could work on stuff at the same time he's working with someone else. And it's very effective and very good. And plus it helps people become more comfortable and see that, well, number one, everybody's got stuff. Everybody has problems. Everybody, we all need help. Get real. And it's a fantastic experience, and I love Dennis. He's very experienced, and he does great work.
My name is Sandy Maurer. I work at Advanced Health Clinic as a facilities manager and also as a lifestyle coach. And I attended a weekend with Dennis. in a group that I was amazed and fascinated and learned so much about what hypnosis is and what it isn't, and it was very clear and defined and comfortable. And by the time we were finished, I was very glad to be in a group and thought it went in a way that was very personal to me, and yet I didn't fall apart. I didn't tell people things. I didn't say things I didn't want to. It became an experience that I learned that all of us are alike in so many ways, and that by relating to others and seeing what they were saying and doing, that I was not alone, and that we were all part of a bigger whole. I would recommend doing a group to anyone without any fear of people finding out anything that they don't want them to. I love that you really know everything you're doing and saying, and you don't do anything that you don't want to. But you do go to a place where you can discover how to become a better person, how to become more who you want to, and how to progress in a quick and easy and comfortable and loving way.
My 60th birthday was a very reflective day. I wrote a new life's mission statement, a part of which I will share here. I will accomplish more good in the last 20 years of my life than I have the previous 60 years combined. I will be an influence for positive change with more people and assist more people to better their lives and fulfill their desires, dreams, and goals by teaching and coaching them in self-hypnosis and hypnotherapy, or in truth, pondering and meditation trance utilization skills. I will assist others to overcome self-limiting beliefs, eliminate self-defeating habits, and conquer maladaptive behaviors, and do so myself as well. I will teach these personal problem-solving skills that have changed and improved my life in numerous ways to as many as have interest and want to learn them. So, my wife Susie and I started Certified Hypnotherapy Training School, where I have the opportunity to achieve such goals. I enjoy being part of the success of others. It is rewarding to be a positive influence in the lives of so many and create a ripple effect of good through the students, as they in turn assist their clients in positive personal improvement.
Hi, I'm Dennis Parker, and I'm the owner and operator of Certified Hypnotherapy Training School in Farmington, Utah. We're attached to the Advanced Health Clinic, where I also work as a contract hypnotherapist for the clinic. And I get to participate in client services, if you will, with many of the clients that come through the clinic, and work with folks on overcoming self-limiting beliefs, inappropriate habits, and conquering their maladaptive behaviors.
Certified Hypnotherapy Training School trains students in hypnosis, self-hypnosis, hypnotherapy, and unique proprietary mind management protocols to be certified hypnotherapists and certified clinical hypnotherapists through the American Council of Hypnotist Examiners. It takes approximately 3 to 4 months of part-time effort to complete the courses. You can now start anytime, learning at your own pace. The school is a post-secondary proprietary school of hypnotherapy in the state of Utah, registered and bonded with the Department of Commerce. ACHE hypnotherapist certificates are recognized and accepted throughout the United States and in over 20 countries.
My name is Deanne Smith. I'm a hypnotherapy student, and during the day I work as a school psychologist. As a school psychologist, one of my duties is to work with students to help them change their behavior, to bring about behavior modification. And most of the programs I have are maybe 10 sessions long or 16 sessions long, so it takes a good deal of time. I was amazed my first night of class when I came here and watched Dennis do in 1 or 2 sessions what takes me weeks to accomplish. On a personal level, I was able to overcome some of my own self-limiting doubts and beliefs that I've had since childhood. and learned how to manage my mind so that I can take care of those same problems in the future if they come back. Even if I never used these skills in a career, it has been worth it to know that I can help my friends and family and myself. I would recommend this school to anyone that wants to learn more about themselves or wants to learn how to help people to change their behavior.
Dennis and his wife Susie are the parents of 11 children, 8 boys and 3 girls. They currently have 33 grandchildren with anticipation of many more. This is Dennis's favorite family photo. The young boy on his lap is now in the Navy in San Diego, married, and has 2 children of his own. Personal interests have to do with church responsibilities, golfing, camping, fishing, gardening, yard work, and spending time with their family. They enjoy Sunday dinners together and other family activities. Dennis has a love of horses and spends time with his horse, Sonny. We have numerous reference letters from hypnotherapy clients and our many seminars and workshops. A few are listed here. Intermountain Healthcare's annual convention of the Amerinet Association in Anaheim, California, for stress management through self-hypnosis. The Utah Healthcare Association. Many seminars and workshops have been done over the years. Weber County Human Services, Utah Valley Community College, World Scientific Congress of Golf. Dennis spoke in Phoenix in April on the subject of the subconscious golfer, utilizing hypnotherapy for golf. He did a 2-hour workshop for trainers and athletes and professional coaches from all over the world. He has spoken at the Idaho Healthcare Association annual conventions, Shriners Hospital for association meetings, the Department of the Treasury for, again, stress management through self-hypnosis. These are obviously posted here to build credibility. Should you wish to read them, stop the video and review them at your leisure. For further information and references, please go to www.wdennisparker.com.
We want to call this little video, and what we're attempting to explain is what we're now going to take and call spiritual mind management. And I want to call it spiritual mind management because the local community and most of my clients, obviously, they're come in from a religious basis and a religious aspect, and I get asked all of these religious questions. So I thought that I could answer them this way and explain them in total, and then you could ask yourself or pray about it and see if this is maybe something that you want to consider. So the thought that I want to promote in truth is that hypnosis and hypnotherapy, when done correctly, is what the scriptures are calling pondering and meditation. And the process allows us to have access to the subconscious mind where we've buried all of our former experiences, if you will, stimuluses of behaviors from the past, in our memories through amnesias and denials. I never want to think about that again. Let's never discuss that again. I never want to have that conversation again. It was no big deal. Get over it. It didn't mean that much to me. Shouldn't have meant that much to you. Amnesia and denial. And what we want to understand about that is that the conscious mind is the director of the subconscious. And the subconscious is simply the servant, if you will. One of the metaphors that we use is it's kind of like having the master, if you will, and then the genie in the bottle. And if we're directing our genie incorrectly, which most people who are having behavioral issues are, or have done, and they have not learned to do their own positive self-talk correctly, they continue to instruct their subconscious incorrectly, and so the genie's all confused and is doing all kinds of things inappropriately at that level that they really don't want to do or accomplish at the conscious level. So if you would allow me that, if you think about the fact that the last time you had to be up by 6 o'clock in the morning for an important meeting, and it was important enough that you set 2 alarms. I call it a 2-alarm meeting. So you knew that nobody was going to accept the fact that your alarm didn't go off or the dog ate your homework, none of that. You had to be up. So you set 2 alarms. You had to be up by 6 o'clock. What always happens just before you hear the alarm go off? Yeah, you wake up. Because your internal clock, your subconscious mind, which really takes on the job of preservation of self, will wake you up because you instructed it to when you went through the motions of setting the alarm clocks and so on. It got the message. You wanted to be up by 6 o'clock. Now, that's an oversimplified way, if you will, of instructing our subconscious mind, but it is just that simple in most cases. We simply need to tell it what we want done, and the genie goes to work to do it. But if we fill our subconscious mind with inappropriate thoughts, inappropriate music, inappropriate images, pornography, those kinds of things, now it goes to work and wants to bring more of that to us because that's what we've sent the genie to do, if you will. So learning how to instruct your subconscious mind correctly, in other words, how do you actually master and control the genie in a positive way and have positive production from the genie, is one of the things that we teach in what we're calling part of our mind management processes.
The subjects of this video. First, new mind management skills, the end state first. We're going to talk about what we are calling mind management and the mental skills that you can develop after you become clear and free-minded. You'll find that you'll have greater self-empowerment, better self-control, improved self-confidence, and enhanced self-esteem. The second subject we will take up, or part 2, will be the truth about trance, pondering, or hypnosis. We're going to understand our inherited natural trance abilities and the benefits of utilization. And 3, we're going to talk about hypnotherapy or meditation and personal problem-solving skills. We want to explain to you how we help people become clear and free-minded, how we resolve past sensitizing events and experiences that are still holding them back, those events that inhibit us from being who we want to be, really who we're supposed to be, and who we feel like we're meant to be in our heart. We may sense that we have some great things to accomplish, and yet we know there are certain things holding us back that we would like to address. These are well addressed with hypnotherapy. So let's talk about part 1, mind management, the end state first. We want you to learn to make everything a conscious choice and enjoy living in truth and balance, being free. Free to have self-empowerment, self-control, self-confidence, self-esteem, and self-determination, meaning that you are self-directed and you have impulse control over inappropriate habits, thoughts, and other maladaptive behaviors. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. We are to put off the natural man and become the spiritual man, righteously, spiritually guided, and directed by our God-given conscience, the light within each of us that teaches us of right and wrong. We will review some of the basics of self-hypnosis, pondering, positive self-talk, positive affirmations, and autosuggestions that work to reprogram our mind's belief systems, and new advanced techniques as well. You will see examples of clients using these advanced techniques. You will hear their comments of how they are in greater self-control than ever before. They enjoy personally directed mind and impulse control. Hypnotherapy or meditation principles taught here are the easiest, fastest ways to make positive personal changes. that ye put off concerning the former conversation the old man, which is corrupt according to the deceitful lusts, and be renewed in the spirit of your mind, and that ye put on the new man, which after God is created in righteousness and true holiness. And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. What does it mean then to be renewed in the spirit of our mind? The end state or goal we have with each client is to have individuals become clear and free-minded, and then maintain their clear and free-minded states with what we are calling mind management. Our spiritual mind management hypnotherapy protocols and practices are newly discovered understandings of the spirit of our mind, our intelligence. These mental skills, abilities, and capacities are inherent within each individual. Utilization allows people to maintain a clear and free mind and be their own best behavioral therapist. We will teach you the truth about our naturally inherited God-given trance abilities. We are far better equipped spiritually and mentally to cope with the temptations, challenges, stresses, and trials of this life than we may have previously known and understood. Enjoy a clear and free mind, having peace of mind. We are proposing that we are a tri-state being, that we have a third part we are calling our intelligence, or the inner spirit of our spirit mind. Should you decide to persist in learning what we are offering here, you can come to know about our divine capacities and abilities inherited from our Heavenly Father to make appropriate choices easier and with more consistency than ever experienced in the past, having impulse control. We wish everyone to know of our divinely inherited capacities of agency and choice and how to utilize them. The spiritual mind is compartmentalized. A free mind is a mind where the spirit of our mind, our intelligence, is free from fixations of our past sensitizing experiences. Our intelligence is then free to move from place to place within our mind's compartments. You will learn the spiritual mind's compartments and discover that you have greater power to make positive personal improvements faster than ever imagined. Once the concepts are understood and utilized, you will be doing your own mind management.
And what I want to do is teach you that actually inside your mind, most people talk about the fact that we're a dual being. We have a body and we have a spirit. I want to propose that we're a tri-being, or we have a inner spirit or mind, if you want to call it, that actually is us and actually is that part of us that does the analytical thinking, that does decide things new and different. Lots of people have different names for it, and it's not totally unique. I mean, I was taught this years ago in therapy school. But over the years, I've developed the concept in my own mind and with clients, even beyond what I was originally taught as well. That's what I want to explain and work with you on today. I want you to think about the concept that inside your mind, there is a part of you that is you that actually moves from place to place in your mind and actually can go from being conscious to visualizing things in your imagination, and then can go back to call up memories, and then can actually lock into old thoughts and emotions. And I want to teach you how you do that, and then help you to recognize where you're at in your own mind, in your own head, so to speak, and give you actually greater control of your own mind, so that not only like right now you're controlling your emotions, by disconnecting from those thoughts that would generate those emotions, but also teach you how to disconnect in your mind from your imaginations, your memories,
and your emotional content whenever you would choose to.
Cool.
Yeah. It really does allow people to be in a position of managing their own mind. But you're doing well now?
Yeah.
Okay. If you were to say, what's the best thing you've learned from all the stuff that we've done? What's the best part of all this for you?
The cool part is that you have something moving around in the top of your head. It feels different.
Okay. Now that you've been able to play around with that for a while, I'm going to ask you to do that one last time and we'll be done.
Okay.
I want you to look at my hand, and I want you to lock on to that feeling right there of that movement in your head.
Okay.
And go find your address. Put your finger on your head where you go find your address. Okay. Describe that feeling as best you can. Okay, then what would you say it is?
It's not. It doesn't feel. It doesn't feel sharp or anything. It's kind of smoothish.
Yeah.
It's soft and not hard.
Yeah. Good description. Anything else?
It's kind of like how the water moves inside the water bottle.
So it's kind of like water moving through your head?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sort of like that.
Okay. And you like that?
It's cool. It's cool.
I know you practice moving around in your head quite a bit now.
Now that I know about it, sometimes you can actually feel it when you know about it.
Yeah. Well, and that's what this is about, and that's what you're going to help other people do, is have an awareness about that and how that works, and you'll help some other kids because they need to learn the same skills that you've been learning. So it would help them to overcome their fears, because most all of us as little kids, we have fears of spiders and snakes and
something crawling around on us.
Yeah, and aliens and all that stuff that you've been dealing with.
Yeah. Or test taking if you're in school that you don't have enough time.
Exactly. You're not understanding something and
Yeah.
all those things that you've been going through. So you could say you're a normal, healthy kid. It's just kind of part of life that we go through that stuff. Is there anything else you want to talk about today, or do you feel like that was helpful?
That was good.
It was good? Anything else you want to talk about? You good to go? Good job.
Thanks.
You do know a high five there. Yeah. Now I want you to bring your intelligence right back to here. Feel it move forward. Tell me when you feel it.
I feel it.
Describe that feeling for me right there now that you're moving around in your head. What does that feel like to move around inside your head?
It feels like it's going from one place to another.
And what does it look like to you inside your head?
It looks like there is a road that it keeps going on to get to different places.
Yeah. And what does the feeling look like itself? Any image or thought?
Maybe a car.
Okay. But you can feel that moving around, or like it's a car driving around on a road inside your head? So you do feel that movement, kind of like moving around when you're in the car? Okay. Excellent description. Okay. So now I want you to move that feeling all the way back here. We're going to practice that feeling. Move it, put it back here. Tell me when you got it back here.
Got it.
What does it feel like right back here?
It feels kind of like it is kind of...
The following charts identify our spiritual mind's compartmentalizations. Conscious outward observation, learning and choice. Imaginations, memories, emotions. You can learn to know where your intelligence, the spirit of your mind, is at inside your mind at all times, and the effect of it being in a certain place. In a free mind, it moves from conscious outward observation and learning to imaginations, to memories, and or to emotions, from place to place, from moment to moment, at your intentional direction. This mental ability changes perceptions of past experiences and old memories, desensitizes our imaginations, and collapses emotional content, old unwanted feelings, changing behaviors at beyond the speed of light, at the speed of thought.
Mind management is a process wherein we teach individuals how to be more empowered and control their own mind and know where they're at in their own mind at any given moment. Inside of us, we have what we would call our spiritual mind. And it's our spiritual mind that actually operates and functions our brain, if you will, and not the reverse. People want to talk about the physical mechanism of the brain, and, that's beyond us. I don't know how the brain works per se. It's one of those concepts I teach people. I know how to move this hand. I know how to make my fingers wiggle. I do not know how many impulses are coming out of my brain, electrical frequencies, if you will, electrical impulses that allow me to move it this way or that way or up or down. I just know that I know how to do it. Some of the things that we're going to talk about are like that. I can't explain to you how I do this. I can't explain to you some of the processes of mind that we teach. I just know that we know how to do it, and we know the results that we get from it when we do it. And I've had off and on experience with your family for about the last 20 years.
Yep.
Yeah. And Wendy's family was one of those families that when they found out the benefits of it, they actually cycled all the kids through me at a young age and that kind of thing. So by way of background, maybe to get started, what effect or what would you like to share with the group about how that worked for the family, or what has happened, or those kinds of things? Anything you'd like to...
Just the change in my parents was very amazing. My mom was very shy prior to and very introverted, and now you just can't get her to stop talking to people. But she truly cares about them.
Right.
She's very sweet. And my dad was always very afraid of success, very afraid to move forward, and he's so much better now. Just was able to move forward.
I am Kathy, and I worked with Dennis some 20, 30 years ago. And at the time that I worked with Dennis, I was a person who was very into myself, drawn to me, very afraid to reach out and touch people in any way whatsoever. I did not know who I was. I did not know that I really had value. And I struggled with it for years. It's amazing to be reborn at 40. With the help from Dennis, I believe we called it Peel the Onion. We were able to go through and talk about each situation that blocked me in my life, and just take that layer of the onion, take it off, sit it out in front of me, look at it, and decide, do you want to keep it or do you want to let it go? And we found a way to let it go, and my way was flipping a domino. Along with that, Dennis suggested that I find a place to go where I could be very, very comfortable. And my place has always been the water. And so in my mind, I could focus on a stream in the woods, the river. I could focus on the ocean, and that would bring peace and quiet to me. As we went through and peeled the onion and looked and decided, he also taught me how to give of myself, to reach out to people. And it has been such a wonderful experience. would not talk to anyone. I will reach out and I will talk to people. And it's so amazing to me to be able to do it. It has opened my mind to a whole new world. I find myself using this time and time again, not just for me, but as I've talked with my children, as I've talked with other people, I've been able to see them differently, love them differently, and say to them, maybe you want to let go of what you're holding on to. It's been an incredible journey. I am so grateful for it. And again, Dennis is a friend that I will have for the rest of my life. I will have what he taught me for the rest of my life.
My name is Daryl. I worked with Dennis 20 plus years ago. I was struggling in my job and relationships with other people. What Dennis gave me was a way to back out all the negative and find a way to incorporate the positive into my life. What it's done is it gave me the opportunity to move on, especially in my employment. I was able to leave where I was at and go to a place that was much more enlightening to me, and in so doing, actually my income increased threefold, and I attribute that to what Dennis did give me.
You will live your life in balance, making conscious choices. Balance is where we can view things differently from various vantage points in our own mind, then make conscious choices as to our chosen decisions and actions. We are to enjoy living a balanced life. And as you're doing so, when you're pretending and imagining that you're seeing my hand, I want you to move your intelligence right here under my finger and notice how the image even increases, how the image clarifies, and how the clarity increases right here. Tell me when you've got it. Move I am of self, move your intelligence right here.
Okay.
You notice the clarity.
Yeah.
You notice the increase of detail.
Yeah.
What did you just learn?
That I was stuck in surface level.
The what?
I'm stuck in surface level. If I can shift it myself.
Say that again.
I can shift it myself.
Okay, say that again. I can shift it myself.
I can shift it myself.
And what does that mean to you, that you can shift it yourself?
I have a lot more power over my mind than I thought.
Say that one again. Stronger.
I have a lot more power over my mind than I thought.
How cool is that?
That's pretty awesome.
Good for you. Because once again, the concept is that we work with people until we get them what I call free-minded or clear-minded.
Mm-hmm.
Really clear-minded, because once their mind is clear from all their past experiences and been binding them down, holding them back, as we like to say, then their mind becomes free and they can start to sense that movement of their intelligence inside their own mind. And then they're able to actually do these mind management processes and start to control their own mind in new and different ways, just as you described. And one of the reasons that I want to do this is because there's such a myth in the area, especially around our area, that, in some ways hypnosis is mind control, it's giving your will over to somebody else. We struggle with that old myth, I guess, is the only word I can come up with, because there's really no truth to it when somebody really understands the processes of their mind and how it works. And you've spent a number of sessions with me. We've been in workshops together and that kind of thing.
So just weigh in quickly before we start. Do you have less control of your own mind now or greater control than you've ever had before with what we're doing?
Oh, I would say greater control. Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's personally empowering. It's not
Right.
me controlling you in any way. Yeah. Okay, good.
And there's some times when I think, oh, I wish Dennis was here and do the tapping on my knee. I haven't got it to a point where I feel like I'm an A student at it. But it's just like anything else. You practice it and you become confident in that it works and that it's worth the time. And then you keep practicing it. And I think there's times when you come back and say, okay, this is the part, was a challenge for me. This was a time. It was more difficult. But as far as thinking I depend on you or I want you there to do it for me, which in our society, it's easier to have somebody do it.
Well, and it's okay to be facilitated for a while, but our goal is to have everybody become self-sustaining.
And
it's to have everybody learn this to where they can maintain their own mind and do what they want to do for the rest of their lives. And that's one of the mantras that we have is learn to be your own best therapist.
Mm-hmm.
Your own best behavioral therapist.
And it's really part of being self-sufficient. And then we talk about that physically being self-sufficient with finances, but this is the ultimate, I think, in self-sufficiency.
Yeah, self-reliance and all the stuff that we talk about.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that would mean it's just gone and there's no hope.
Yeah, and with no hope, that's sad, isn't it?
Yeah.
And is that not the cause of the sadness that you started out with?
Yeah.
But since you know that there is hope, and you do have hope, is there hope for Jared?
Yeah.
Where's the sadness gone?
It's gone. I think he was representing like all hope in general.
Yeah. Do you now have hope?
Yeah.
Your true love, your soulmate is still out there. You can still be excited about the journey, about the hunt, if you will, about the trek, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
True or false?
True.
Do you have hope for that?
Yeah.
Okay. See the family over there. What did they represent in this to you?
Yeah, it was all just reinforcing.
Yeah, they were there as reinforcement of your hopelessness.
Mm-hmm.
True?
True.
So you call up those memories to justify, validate, and defend the hopelessness.
Yeah.
Good. Do you know that now?
Yeah.
It's just like a joy from within, deep within. Not like just like a happy. It's like a joy from like deep within my gut.
Where's the anxiety going?
No idea. It is gone.
Doesn't matter. The point is that it's gone.
More heart thumping out of my chest.
Now you can have it back, if you want. All you have to do is go back and believe and accept the lies again. You understand? It's the truth that sets you free. Do you know how to continue to tell yourself, believe, understand the truth from what we've just done? Just enjoy those feelings for a few minutes, and whenever you're ready, you just open your eyes, be here with us. We propose that the spirit of our mind is the part of us that is dislodged when knocked out in a fight or we receive another type of blow to the head. When someone is highly emotional, slapped, and then they come out of it, their intelligence has moved from one fixation, emotions, to consciousness. Children change mental states when disciplined. We see this shock therapy phenomenon portrayed in movies and TV all the time.
We believe it is our intelligence that we sense moving as we fall asleep. You may have also felt it move in the past as you woke up, meaning that your intelligence is moving back up to consciousness as opposed to going down to sleep or deeper states of trance. It may be that all hypnotherapy, NLP, and many other forms of mental health therapies are all attempting to have an individual become clear and free-minded, freeing up the functioning of the intelligence. A person with a free-functioning intelligence enjoys the power and freedom of agency and choice. They can accept responsibility and accountability for their choices and actions. No more excuses, and live in truth, which not only sets them free, but keeps them free. Everything then becomes a conscious choice. You will discover that when the intelligence is in conscious outward observation, focus, and learning, you will have awareness of it being in the area of the center of your forehead. I want you to focus so clearly, the length of my fingers, my thumb, and so on, to the point that you have no memory, no emotions, no imagination, just right here, total outward focus. Notice you have no name, no address, nothing, right there. Got it?
Mm-hmm.
Look around the room, look at the plaques, look at the pictures. Kevin even looks better today. Do you notice that?
Yes, everything's sharper.
This is working already. Everything's sharper?
Everything's sharper.
Describe sharper.
The lines between the pictures on the wall are clearer. The light is more distinguished.
Okay, good. So you'd call it sharper.
Mm-hmm.
I like that term. Okay. So now what I want you to do is you recognize that when you're outward and life is sharper, clear kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Notice that right now you're back in what we want to call consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
You're outwardly observing, you're outwardly learning, and you're not back somewhere in your head. Look, the concepts that we're teaching you now in mind management are to help you maintain that clear and free state you're in again right now.
Okay.
Okay? So it's a way for you to continue to think about the way that you think. And we want you to have that internal focus that says, I know where I'm at in my head at any given moment, and I can change and adjust my thoughts and my patterns when I choose to because I know how to.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So let's just go through them quick. First of all, I want to review consciousness again. Just look at my hand.
Mm-hmm.
And as you're looking at my hand right there, totally focus outward again.
Mm-hmm.
And as you're totally focused outward right there, once again notice that when you're in total consciousness, you're not connected to your imaginations, memories, or emotions. It's just kind of blank, but you're just learning and observing new and outward.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So right now, again, no name, no address, no phone number.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's really when most people say that's where they have most of their peace of mind, so to speak, because they're observing outwardly, they're observing the world, they enjoy the brightness of the colors. You go up the canyon this time of year, the leaves have all turned colors, and if you get out of your head and you really look and observe, just like you said earlier, the colors are brighter, the details are better, and you know that now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, look at my hand again. Now you're totally outward focused right here. And as you're totally outwardly focused again, and you notice here that you're outwardly observing and learning, and you have no name, no address, and no phone number, and you've been getting used to being in this state.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Mm-hmm.
You're spending more and more time out of the back of your head and focused and looking at life around you. How would you describe that? Brighter, people call it clear. What does that do for you when you get out of the back of your head and you know you're consciously focused outward now?
Well, for me, it feels more like I'm using both hemispheres of my brain.
Okay.
Which is different for me and nice. And with being able to do that, it's more clear thinking and more seeing things instead of flat, seeing them in three-dimensional that way too. I mean, and the sense of feeling like, well, it's a positive sense of not doubting myself. So I think reassurance or confidence in not doubting what I'm seeing.
Okay.
When I'm seeing more than the flat surface.
So you feel, when you say confident feeling, so you feel this has actually increased your self-confidence?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. In your judgment, decisions, viewpoint?
Right, and even though you're looking at something, you're like, am I seeing this correctly? Am I really understanding what I'm seeing just with my eyesight? That's made me think, yes, I am seeing better.
Okay. Good. Excellent.
So this is an acquired capacity. It's she may be more somnambulistic in terms of her natural expression, or
She used to be. Do you want to tell them about your dehypnosis experience?
What, being dehypnotized?
Yeah, that whole process we took you through.
Well, how long did we actually do it? How long was the therapy?
You had probably 4 or 5 sessions before you came fully conscious.
Oh yeah.
Remember that day when you finally looked around the room and
I remember that session being so easy though.
Yeah.
For some reason.
Well, it wasn't traumatic like some of the other stuff. It was more you were learning the mind management stuff.
Yeah. Well, okay, when I came out of trance, I opened my eyes and I felt more whole, I felt more complete. The room was actually brighter. The walls didn't have like a gray tint. I feel weird talking to the camera. The walls didn't have like a gray tint, and it actually felt like I had a dark glaze over my eyes my whole life. Things were bright, things were clear. I actually, a week later, drove to my grandma's house. She's lived in the same house my whole life, and I saw blue road signs. I thought they were all green, but I actually found that some of them were blue. It was really weird. And since I've been dehypnotized, I haven't had people's suggestions influence me whatsoever. Somebody can say something nasty to me, and I'm just like, okay. I really don't care. When before I would put on a smile face, but inside it just made me sick and it hurt, and I would like find reasons why I was whatever that person called me.
Right.
And
so you're doing what we've talked about. You're doing your mind management.
yes.
In my head?
Yeah. Where do you feel? Close your eyes. See my hand clearer even inside your mind right now than you do with your eyes open. And as you see my hand even more clearly with your eyes closed than you do with your eyes open. Take your index finger, put it on your head. Where is it that you're actually seeing my hand right here, right now?
It feels like back here, but it kind of feels like here.
It's kind of both, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. And I want you to bring your awareness right here. Tell me when you have it there.
Okay.
You got it there? Did you feel that movement inside your head?
Yeah.
What did that feel like?
Kind of like a wave, I guess. Like that.
Excellent job. Okay. Look at my hand. Now that you know what that wave feels like, walk onto that wave. Take your index finger and feel that wave in your mind where you actually go now again. I want you to look around the room, new and different.
And now that you're out of that kind of fog in your head that you described, or that feeling, how does things look different, brighter, newer?
It looks completely different. In fact, there's parts of the room I don't even remember having any memory of.
And you've spent a lot of time in this room.
A couple hours, yeah. Yeah. Wow, that's crazy. Okay.
How would you describe that outward conscious observation state right there, right now?
Just one of greater detail, of greater clarity. Clarity, sharp. I don't know how to describe it. It's hard to put a finger on it, but it doesn't look the same.
Good job. You've just broken some major fixations. And you understand that now from the other training we've done.
Yeah.
You're a lot freer, your inner mind, your spirit's clearer, freer, and I see that in your eyes. I mean, the clarity in your eyes right now, and what you're doing is really improved. It's really incredible.
Cool. Thank you.
Good job. People attempt to describe these feelings or visualizations of movement in their spiritual minds. People describe the spiritual mind or intelligence differently when they first become aware of its movements. Some describe it as a flashing, sparkling light moving in their mind. Some describe it as a fluid movement, moving around from state to state. The mind is compartmentalized, and states can be observed as the intelligence moves through the conscious mind and back to the subconscious functions of imaginations, memories, and emotions. We propose that we may renew our minds and be transformed through the use of trance, pondering, and meditation as we come to know, challenge, and change subconscious, inappropriate thinking. Here is Dennis's descriptions and thoughts of his first experiences of recognizing what we are now calling our intelligence. He did this in hypnotherapy school back in 1991 when he first became aware of this phenomena. My I am of me, my intelligence, is a clarity of being. It's a feeling of well-being, a completeness within myself, a strength of inner choice and freedom, a sense of unity, oneness of self, purposeful, and independence of being. I am strong, purposeful, loving, caring, and powerful as I am empowering others. In this state of being, I am honest with myself, no more excuses. I choose to be of service to those who choose to be of service to others. I am free to choose my response to each situation and given stimulus.
Yeah.
Okay, these are new mental skills. We're going to practice these.
Yeah, okay.
I'm teaching you new stuff.
I think here. Not sure though.
Excellent.
Okay.
Excellent. No, let's practice this. We're going to practice this several times. Look right here in my hand. No name, no address, no phone number. Got it? Now, pay real close attention inside your head. Where do you go? Feel that movement inside your head. Go find your address. Put your index finger on your head. Where do you go to? Where do you move to find your address?
Yeah.
Is that where you went?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you sense that movement at all?
I think so.
Okay. Look at my hand. So clearly, no name, no address, no phone number. Got it? Pay real close attention where you go inside your head, and you can close your eyes and focus when you do this if you want to. Feel that movement inside your head. Tell me where you go. Tell me your phone number. Put your index finger on your head. Where do you go find your phone number?
Okay.
Excellent job. Did you feel that movement back there?
Mm-hmm.
What did that movement feel like?
Just going there.
How would you describe it? Yeah. Like I was just going under.
Traveling.
Like you were traveling? So you were traveling inside your own head.
Yeah.
Everybody describes that a little different.
Okay.
Like some people think, well, it's like I just slid on back there. Or some people, one way said, well, again, it's like I have a marble that's rolling around in my head, it just rolls back there. Any kind of sensation?
Maybe more like a jet of white light going back.
Okay, good.
You will discover that when the intelligence is in imaginations, that you will have awareness of it being in the area of the top of the forehead, back to the center of the head.
And this time I want you to take your right hand and just pretend and imagine that you have the most beautiful rose that you've ever seen right here in your right hand. You take your hand. I'm going to put the rose right there in your hand. Now be careful not to squeeze it too tight. There might be a thorn. You don't want to get poked. And as you have that most beautiful rose you've ever seen right there in your hand, what color is your rose?
It's those cool orangey ones.
Okay? Very slowly bring that cool orange rose up to your nose until you smell it and the beautiful fragrance of that rose. Got it? And allow the fragrance to increase. And it's so pleasant, so beautiful, so enhancing to you. How would you describe the fragrance of that rose?
Well, it doesn't really smell like a rose. For some bizarre reason, this rose smells like popcorn. I don't really know why.
It might be because I eat popcorn here all the time. That's funny. Now, smell it as a rose. Tell me when you smell the rose. Big deep breath, let it in.
Okay.
Now do you smell the rose?
Mm-hmm.
What does that smell like?
It smells, I don't know, fresh.
Clean kind of feel?
Yeah.
Yeah. How else would you describe it?
Like summertime. I don't know.
Good. So you have the most beautiful orange rose you've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
It smells fresh. Wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Take your left index finger and put it on your head. Where it is in your mind, you're smelling the rose.
Right there.
Right there. Excellent job. Excellent job. That's where you're smelling the rose.
Yeah.
Perfect. Good job. Now, when you went over there and you recognize that, did you recognize that that's where that I am of self, or your intelligence, however we want to verbalize that, actually went to lock into the rose, and you could actually feel it there in your mind now?
Mm-hmm.
Is that true?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to put a stem of a rose right there. Close it down. Now, don't grab it too tight. You might grab a thorn. But very slowly, I want you to bring that rose up to your nose and let me know when you smell that fragrance very powerfully. What color is your rose? It's a purple rose. And smell the fresh, clean smell of that sweet fragrance of that purple rose. Got it?
Mm-hmm.
Now you've got it. Allow that to get stronger, double it. And as you do, take your left index finger and put it on your head where it is that you're actually smelling and seeing that rose. And on your head. Okay. Remember where that is? Excellent job. Do you like the fragrance of that rose?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, 1, 2, 3. Perfect. You let it go.
Mm-hmm.
So, you've been able to attach to your emotions, detach. You've been able to attach to your memory, your address, phone number, detach. You've been able to attach to your imagination and smell the fragrance and see the rose and attach and detach. Now you also know that you can look outwardly and not be attached to any of that. True? Right here? No name, no address, no phone number, no imagination, no memory, no feeling. Right here, just in conscious outward observation. Okay? Now, the significance of that is, in some things that I've learned since we worked together 20 years ago, after doing this with clients over the last 20-some years, I finally have learned through observation that, you know, the old behavioral scale we talked about, fight, flight, seek, avoid, identify, alienate, we went through those trainings.
Mm-hmm.
I've learned that our spiritual mind or intelligence, whatever you want to call that, actually moves to the right side of the mind or the brain or the head or however you want to word that. If we're fighting for something, we're identifying with it and we're seeking it, we actually over-amplify that to the right side. If we're alienating from the thought, if we're flighting from it and we're avoiding it, it actually goes to the left side. And the further down the mind that we go, the further the alienation or the further the identification that we would go over to the right side. So I want to teach you that now. I want you to put your hand back on your head where you actually saw and smelled the rose. Okay? Now, to be clear back there, and as we know, and this is a point to Tom's question, what happens if you have somebody that goes clear into an area that you know is not actually where the rest of the things that you normally function goes? Okay? So as you have your hand clear back there to the emotional side of the rose, just close them down for a minute, please. Go inside. Keep your hand there, please. Close your eyes. Take a big deep breath. I want you to go down in trance a little bit. Back into some self-hypnosis work. Just go right on down. Right there as you have your hand on that rose. The key to therapy at this point is in the question. So what is it that you're feeling about roses right there in a negative way?
The thorns.
The thorns. So as you're focused on the thorns, you're alienating from the roses off to the left, and you're back in an old memory of where you actually got poked or pricked. True or false?
True.
Okay? So it's a memory of the old thorns being poked. Now, what I'd like you to do, and I want you to move your intelligence with me, bring that purple rose, bring your intelligence under your finger right up here, and I want you to place it right here in the imagination and just see the rose. Tell me when you're there. How does the rose look different, and where's the focus?
The focus is on the flower, the color. And there's no stem.
And there's no stem. Okay? Now, pay close attention, and I'll do this for you at this point. You can put your finger down for just a second. Keep it here where I'll do that. Keep your intelligence right here under my finger. Okay? Tell me what happens as you move the image of the rose down to this side. What's happening to the rose?
It's growing a stem.
It's growing a stem. Okay? Bring it back up to here. Tell me where you are right here.
Just the rose.
It's just the rose. Now, tell me, does the rose get brighter or dimmer as you come over to this side? Keep your intelligence right under my finger.
It's clear.
It's clear. And by clear, does it get brighter, sharper, kind of the way you described the room a little bit?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, come back up to the center right here on the top and tell me what it looks like just right here.
Just rose.
Just the rose. Excellent job. Now, let's move back here as where you went when you found your address. Is that true? Or point on your head where it actually was. Did I forget that? You were clear down here as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now on your address, the question would be, in therapy, if they're clear back here on their address, the question would be again, what address is it that you're thinking about right there that you really don't want to be in that location?
Where do you live right now?
So you have a desire to move out of where you live right now.
Yes, sir.
And that's indicated by where you're at in your mind with that particular address.
Yes.
So I want you to visualize, maybe not the exact address, but the place where you would like to live and the place where you would like to move to, and point on your head where you feel or see or hear that place in your mind, where you would really like to be. Okay? And so over here, we're identifying, seeking, fighting for the new address and the new place of where you want to be. And you notice that that's over here on the right side of your mind. Now, what did you just learn about yourself in that regard?
And I understand where my thoughts are and the emotions attached, and I guess the emotions are attached to them.
And how cool is that?
That's cool.
Is that cool or what?
That's cool.
Okay. Now, if you wanted to go back and feel that, you could come back over here to the old address. Be back over here. Move your intelligence back over here. And have you not locked into the old memory and the old feeling there?
Yes.
And so if you come back over here to the new thing, move back over here, how does that feel no different again? We're practicing this. Feel the difference?
Mm-hmm.
See the difference? Hear the difference right there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, what we would want to do is if we said, okay, what if we wanted to live our life in balance, and we wanted to be happy where we're currently at, and we wanted to not overemphasize where we want to go, because we can set ourselves up for anger and feelings of I'm deprived and so on if we want to over-amplify the positive to too much of a degree. What I want you to do right now is I want you to see the address and where you're at right now. Just bring it back into balance, because it may not be really all that bad. It's just where you want to get to is what's making it bad as you have this other thought. Bring it back right here in balance, and then tell me what that address feels like, looks like, sees, what do you see right there?
It's just my home.
Yeah. So it's not negative, it's not positive, just kind of balanced right here.
Mm-hmm.
Now take this address where you want to go and kind of get it back in balanced perspective and put it right here. What just happened?
My home became my mountain.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Describe that, how that happened.
I just slid in to where it was. I mean, I'm okay where I am because I know where I can go, but it's not time yet.
Yeah, and how does that feel totally new and different?
Peaceful.
So you're at peace over where you're currently at. That's different than what you were feeling just a minute ago.
Mm-hmm.
True?
Mm-hmm.
And the other place is not so exotic that you're uncomfortable where you are. You've kind of brought both of them back into a state of balance. True or false?
True.
So what does that look like here, feel like for you now?
I think everything's okay. It's balanced. It's not one way or the other. It's just how it is.
So we're back in reality. True or false?
True.
What do you think about that one?
Feels better.
Feels better? Okay. So, if you would, you can just open your eyes and be with me. Next thing I want to teach you about is I want to teach you about your imagination for a moment. Okay? So what I want you to do is just close your eyes for a minute. I want you to take your right hand, and in your right hand I want you to feel the stem of a rose. So just lock your hand around that stem. Not too tight, you might poke yourself with a thorn. And as you have that rose in your hand, I want you to pretend and imagine that you have the most beautiful rose you've ever seen. The absolutely most beautiful rose you've ever seen. Gorgeous. Debbie, what color is your rose?
Pinkish red. Pink with a red tint.
Okay. Kevin, what color is your rose?
Dark red.
Okay. Very slowly, I want you to bring that rose up to your nose, very slowly. And the closer it gets, the stronger the fragrance becomes. The closer it gets is that fresh, sweet, pure smell of that beautiful rose. And bring it up until you have it at a strength of fragrance that you would like and enjoy the most. Excellent job. Now, take your left index finger, put it on your head. Where in your head you're actually smelling that rose. Excellent job. Now, with your hand right there, I want you to recognize that area in your mind as being in your imagination. Now, Debbie, how do you normally think about roses? Do you like roses?
Not particularly.
Kevin, do you necessarily like roses?
Yeah, not really. I'm kind of indifferent about it.
Did you see his face on this side?
Little lab reaction there?
Well, he just had his kind of crooked. It's cute.
Okay. Now, here's something that I want to teach you next about the fact that you've been learning where your consciousness is, which is forward. You're in your imagination there as you're remembering those. Stay right there for me, please.
Okay.
Stay right there. And as you're on the left side of your head, I'm going to explain this to the people who are watching quickly for a minute. Right here is full conscious focus. Right in the middle of the forehead is consciousness. The imagination is right here from the top of the head to about the center where you're both at. The center from back is memory to the back of the crown of the head, and then back down the back of the crown of the head is emotions, where emotions run down the central nervous system. Mm-hmm. The further that we get off to the left is the further people go into flight, alienation, and avoidance. The further people come over to the right, and their intelligence comes over to the right, the more they go into fight, identification, and seeking. Okay? So when I ask you both, how do you really feel about roses? Deb's, well, I don't care for them. Where is she in her imagination? Off to the left, because she's avoiding, not really into the rose thing so much. Kevin's the same. Mm-hmm. Now, both of you stay locked on that rose and that feeling, and I want you to intentionally now move your finger to the top of your head, right to the crown of your head, and notice how that rose changes in clarity, color, and perception right there. You got it? Describe that change right there. Debbie, start with you. What just happened inside your head?
It changed. It came a little bit clearer. The color is a little bit better. Yeah. I'm refusing to smell it. I don't like the smell of rose.
That's okay. Go ahead and see it.
Yeah, it became very clear. Very clear. It wasn't as fuzzy. It seems like it was fuzzy maybe before, but it became clearer as I moved my finger.
Kevin, how would you describe it? Similarly or differently, or how would you say it?
The rose actually changed a little bit. When I imagined it, it had some imperfections, and the scent wasn't real strong, and now I noticed the scent more than anything being stronger.
In that position.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Now, if we identify with it, if we seek it, and we're fighting for it, what will actually happen is we'll come further down. The intelligence will come further down in the imagination on this side and come further down on this side. And I want you to intentionally move your finger over to that side slowly and allow the color to actually get brighter and clearer, and see if that's not your experience. As you identify with it, you fight for it, you really want to see the most beautiful rose you've ever seen and understand rose is new and different. Keep going until you've brought that to full, like high definition clarity in your mind. Say it again, Debbie.
Wow.
Wow what?
It's not as ugly as I thought it was, and it doesn't. I'm able to handle the smell a little bit better. I choose to handle the smell maybe a little bit better. I could tell the shift, feel the shift.
Kevin, how would you describe it?
There's actually a glow around it.
Oh yeah.
You concur with that, Debbie?
Yeah, I do.
There's a glow around it now. Now watch what happens. Take your intelligence, locked onto that rose, right back to the top of your head. You go right back just to the crown. Whoa, right there. Now you're living life in balance. If you were to alienate from something in your imagination, you can go all the way down to the left where you can shut it all the way off. Turn it down to your left. Take your finger back down to your left until you don't even see the rose hardly. Maybe just a faint glimmer. Got it? Kevin, you got it? Mm-hmm. Now, feel that experience again as you exercise your imagination. Come clear back over the right side and watch it brighten up. And tell me that experience as you come all the way across again. What did you just learn? Debbie, what did you learn?
You can change things in your imagination to like them, dislike them, or to hit the balance.
How cool is that?
That's very cool.
You mean you can actually have everything be a choice inside your own head?
Mm-hmm.
Kevin, how would you describe that?
You know, we were talking about the scale of amplification earlier, and just, I mean, I'm saying visual because that's the way
that's fine.
I primarily communicate, but just that visual picture being amplified as I choose it to be.
So those ones have sides to them too?
Yes.
Like the imagination?
Yes. Yes. So in your memory, when you went over here and you alienated, like when you forwarded your address, you were right back over there? Did you really like where you live?
Mm.
That's why you're over there.
Okay. All right.
Is that making sense?
Yeah, because some part of me is not accepting it.
Some part is not accepting it. Now, the other difference that is that I use that in therapy a lot. If I have somebody who's like really gets stuck and I can't get this free, the real secret to therapy isn't about making all the right suggestions. It's about being able to ask the right questions.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes I'll have somebody, well, where is it that you're feeling the thought or the pain of that thought on your head? I want you to just point on your head. Where does you're feeling it?
Mm-hmm.
And they'll actually point somewhere. I use that actually a lot with migraines.
Mm-hmm.
Where is it you're feeling the pain the most, kind of thing?
Yeah.
You know, if I'm going to help somebody with that, if they said, I've been to all the doctors, I've been everywhere, there's nothing wrong with me, nobody can find anything wrong with me, then generally it's psychosomatically induced, and then that gives me a clue as to where to go.
Okay.
So that I can ask them the right question. Okay, what is it clear over here in your imagination that you're alienating from, that you really don't like or don't
want to feel, or what are you avoiding knowing about yourself? I mean, I start in on those types of questions that causes them to elicit the right information and the right response, so we can actually deal with it faster.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
What if they feel it like we're here? Like, isn't that consciousness?
It is, but you know what? The deal with that is when somebody's always stuck in consciousness, usually those folks are what we call intellectuals.
Yeah.
And what they've done is they've learned to use their own conscious outward observation and learning skills to act as their amnesia and denial over what's really going on back in their memories, imaginations, and emotions. So they've learned to detach. That's their detachment. They've learned to detach from their emotions, like we showed you.
Mm-hmm.
They've learned to detach from their imagination or their memories by staying fully conscious focused.
Okay. That's cool.
Clear?
Yeah, I like it.
You should see the clarity in your eyes right now, young lady. You have a brightness, a clarity, and a happiness, and a joy and a peace that I have not ever seen on you yet. It is cool. It is really cool. You tell me, how do you feel?
I feel peaceful and kind of excited.
Excited? That means you have a positive expectation of the outcome. You're ready to
That's
move forward.
true.
You're ready to move forward in life.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So, I want you to work with that for a week to 10 days. You call me. They're right there. You're totally alienating in your imagination. True or false?
True.
Now, feel that feeling. Bring that feeling right to the crown of your head and take a look at it there. Bring it up. Learn to view things from a different viewpoint inside your own mind. Bring your intelligence, bring that feeling right to the crown of your head. Put your finger on it where you're at when you do. Now, how does it look, see, hear, and feel different right there than it did over there?
Well, she looks better. That's what happens.
Well, she might be better. Do you want her to really look good? Bring her right over here and identify.
I don't even want to. I want her to look ugly and let her go.
Well, then put it back down on the left. Flight from it, alienate from it, let it go. Take it back down, take her back down. Just shut it right off right there.
Okay.
Now you've used amnesia and denial, you've used alienation intentionally for your own goal-directed purposes. You got it?
Yeah.
And it's okay to keep her over there. I mean, it's the same way we can shut off images of pornography or other things or things we don't want to remember. We have that ability and power to take those thoughts, put them over there to where we flight from them, we alienate from them, we avoid them, and we just put them over there to where we can't even see them. They don't even matter. We just don't even care anymore. You got that?
Yeah.
Now, for your own mind management purposes and teaching you how to manage your own mind in the future, I want to practice that with you because that's a good point of reference right now. If you would, take your hand, put it where it is, where you turned her off at over there, if you will. And I want you to just practice and see the difference of what happens as you bring her back to the crown of your head again. What just happened right there?
Bigger and brighter.
She gets bigger and brighter. Now, if you want to amplify your imagination and you want to increase it, now bring it down to the right, go to identify. Now what just happened?
She's like a goddess.
Now, what did you just learn?
Not to imagine stuff you can't have anyway. Not when you can control the balance.
Exactly. And also what you just learned, and I want to make this reference because we're working with more and more people with problems with pornography and those kinds of things. Your issue of being fixated on her is exactly the same as what people do in that scenario. They're over here to the right. They've amplified it into being a goddess when the truth is
Okay, so what I want you to do now is I want you to close your eyes down. I'm going to take your hand, and right here in your hand I'm going to put the stem of a rose. Take this rose. Okay. Don't squeeze it too tight, you might get a thorn. And I want you to learn about your imagination now. I want you to very slowly bring that rose up to your nose, and as you do, notice that the fragrance increases, get clearer, stronger, fresher. And tell me when you have that rose. It's a very beautiful rose. Tell me when you smell the fragrance of that rose.
I smell it.
Now, what color is your rose?
Red.
And take your left index finger and put it on your head, where it is that you're seeing that red rose.
Right here.
Okay. And as you're seeing that red rose right there, what does your rose really look like? Can you give me any detail?
Yeah, it's very soft. Like the petals are very soft. And there's a couple of dewdrops. It's very detailed. But I'm not really sure how to describe the detail.
Okay. Now what I want to do is I want to actually teach you where the positions of your mind are. I'm going to use my fingernails to the ears for a minute. But now you know, keep your intelligence right there. You got it with the detail?
Yeah.
Now I want you to see the rose. Continue to see and smell the rose, only I want you to bring it up, your intelligence up, and I want you to see and smell it from right here in your mind. What just happened? Put your intelligence right here. See and smell it from right here. What just changed inside your head?
It went from more of an imagination to reality.
Meaning that it got what?
It got more realistic.
Excellent job. Now, move your intelligence over here and see the rose over here. What's happening over here to the rose?
It's turning plastic.
Then put it down here. What's happening down here to the rose?
It's painted and plastic and ugly.
And down
it
here?
Doesn't smell good and it smells terrible and I just want to get rid of it.
Okay. Let's come back here again. Bring it back up here. What does it look like here again? Bring it back here.
A wonderful, real rose.
Now, bring it over here. Now what's happening?
It's like, I don't know, it's becoming like I can't smell it as much anymore.
Okay.
And I can't really feel like I'm holding it, but like I can see it in a place like in the garden.
Okay, so now it's a rose in the garden. So there's lots of roses, or it's brighter?
It's the brightest one.
It's the brightest rose in the garden. Bring it right over here. Is it getting brighter or brighter?
It's getting like a brighter dark, like it's becoming darker, but it's becoming brighter dark. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Actually, some people tell me that, you know, when they're seeing the rose over here, it kind of looks like it. Put it back over here. What does it look like over here?
Plastic and disgusting.
And on this side, it looks like the brightest rose in the garden. Put it back over.
Yes.
Now, what are you learning about your imagination right there?
This is, I don't know, this is like it being like if it were a real rose. This is if it was a real fake rose, and then this was if it was in an area that, and I find it out of an entire area.
Yeah. But in your mind, how have you just adjusted your thoughts and your thinking in your own imagination? Do you not have some control now over what you think?
Yes.
What did you just learn about your thinking and your thought processes?
That I can go from, I can see one simple thing in different areas as a good thing, a bad thing, an extra good thing. I mean, like I can see it in different points of view. I have more than one point of view.
Inside your own head?
Yeah.
Excellent. So how can you use that for personal problem-solving skills now? To view a problem differently inside your own head.
Well, when I want to say something that's, if my brothers make me irritated or angry or whatever, it'll probably take me a while to get used to being able to do it really quick, but I can stop and think, do I want to make this negative? Do I want to make this a positive and a negative? So it could go either way depending on how they react to it, or it can go into a positive.
Good for you. Now, does that give you more personal power and control, or does that take power and control away from you?
Gives me more power and control.
Come on, how cool is that?
It's awesome.
Now, we've never discussed this before, done any of this, have we?
No.
This is all new experiential learning for you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to explain it to you now, what you're actually doing. What we've learned is that our intelligence, and the purpose I'm doing this for is I want you to now recognize you have your intelligence. And what I want to say is that we learn to live in balance. So right here in the center is what I would call balance. Put the rose back here. Now it's real, it's not plastic, but it's not the brightest thing in the garden either. Put it right here. See it in balance. Now, I want to propose that this is the right place for you to figure out your thoughts from and live your life in balance. Is that starting to make sense?
Yeah.
But you want to know intentionally that your intelligence is right here in balance so that you're not alienating or flighting from things, because the left side is flight, avoid, and alienate as you come down here. And as you naturally alienate it from the rose, it turns plastic, and clear down here it turns... Yeah. But on this side, you're fighting for the thought, you're identifying with the thought, and you're increasing your imagination. And over here now, it's the brightest
thing in the garden.
Now, yeah. So you could take any thought, and that's what people do. We can take any thought and we can amplify it from 0 to 2,500 times in the positive, or we can amplify it from 0 to 2,500 times in the negative.
Something is like, no, I'm not doing any. I've been trying to get up here. I still end up sometimes over here.
Exactly. And now
I don't think I've ever, I mean, I think I used to go right here, but I don't think I've ever gotten on this side yet, but I'm sure eventually.
Now,
you will discover that when the intelligence is in memories, that you will have awareness that it is in the area of the center to the top back half of the head.
go to that place in the meadow where the horses are. And this time I want you to take your right index finger, now you're aware of how to do this. Put your finger on your head, where it is in your mind, you go in the meadow with the horses. Exactly. Now, as you go to the meadow with the horses right there, now I want you to start to add in the breeze on your face, the warm sun on your body, the beat of the horse's hooves as you're riding along, the other horses running around, jumping and playing. And where does that move in your mind as you add more detail, more clarity, and more feeling to it? Good. Now as you go down to that place and you want to make that even more intense, what do you now know you can do with that? Yeah. Now watch what happens again as you learn to control your mind. Bring it up here. Bring that same picture and image up here. What just happened to it here? Yeah. Now bring it clear back to the top right here. What happens to it right back here? It's not so happy? Yeah. And then bring it over here, that same picture, and what happens to it as you bring it down this side?
It's gone.
It's gone. What are you learning about who's in charge of your mind and how you want to choose to think?
My imagination.
Who's in charge of your imagination, though?
Mm-hmm.
You. You didn't know that before, did you? Because you didn't understand how to be in charge of your imagination. Do you understand now? So if you want to be happy in the meadow with the horses, where have you got to go in your mind? Yeah, move it back over. Put it where you like to view it the best, where you enjoy it the most. And how did that just change for you again one more time?
Happy.
Huh?
Clear.
Clear. Excellent description. It's clearer, it's happier right there, just a better image. Okay, now I promised you something when you first started working with us, that if you would come in and you'd work through your things, that I was going to teach you how to do better in your schoolwork. And I understand you're already an excellent student, but would it be okay if I taught you some things about how you can take a test? Okay? You can put your finger back down now, because I want you to come out of that. And I want you to just pretend and imagine you're in school at your last school test. At one of those test times when you had a question and you're sitting there and you're thinking about, I know the answer to this. I studied it, but it's just not quite coming to you. Remember that time? Tell us where you're at in your mind. Where was that time? What class were you in? What grade? Where are you at?
I was in science class.
Okay, you're in science class. And was this recently or a long time ago?
Friday.
Friday. So Friday we're in science class, we're taking a test. And what's the test number that you're on that's giving you the problem?
4.
Test question number 4. And as you're there with test question number 4, what's the question?
Whether the wave was longitudinal.
I'm sorry, you gotta say it loud and clear.
Was it a longitudinal magnitudinal light or a sound wave?
Yeah, and I didn't quite get that either. So, see you sitting there in class, right here. Okay. Pretend and imagine that you're out here sitting in class. Now see Nancy out here. She has this question, but now she needs your help to answer that question. I want you to go in your mind where you know you have the answer, and then you tell her what the answer is. Put your finger on your head where you know that you know the answer. Perfect. Right to memory. Now that you know you have the memory right here for her, tell her what the answer is.
Transverse and light.
Transverse and light? Excellent. So how is that for you now to know that you can connect the dots between the question and the answer as you put the question or the problem out here, and you now know how to go back into your memory and call up your memory perfectly whenever you want to? Excited. Yeah. Are you understanding how you can use this system that I'm teaching you now to improve your schoolwork and what it is that you're doing? Come on, how cool is that? Excellent job. Okay, you can put your hand back down, please. Now I want you to go to the next test that bothered you the most, or the next question. Let's just see if this works twice. Okay? Go to another test question that bothered you. Which class are you in now?
Science.
Back in science. What question number are we on now?
7.
And what's question number 7?
Why does transverse need a medium?
Why does transverse need a medium? That's the question. Put her out here with a question. She's wondering about the question. Okay? You put your finger on your head in your memory where you know inside that you actually know the answer. Put your finger on your head. Where is it in your memory? Excellent job. Now tell her the answer out here perfectly clearly.
Because it needs a medium to go through.
Excellent job. How does that feel new and different to you to be able to do that?
Like I can get 100.
Like I can get 100. Excellent job. You can put your hand back down now. Explain to me what you just learned about yourself and your mind, if you would, please.
So we can go back and find stuff in our memory, and then we can write it down and get it correct.
Yeah, you can go back and find stuff in your memory, write it down, and get it correct. Now, does that give you more self-confidence in doing your schoolwork?
You don't need to be scared anymore of Fridays.
Say that one again.
You don't need to be scared anymore of Fridays.
Because as long as you read your material, now you can't get something out of your head you haven't put in there. I mean, you understand that. I can't get a drink of water out of my glass here if I have no water in it. Right? But as long as you do your studies and as long as you put it in your mind, now you know that you have a system to get it out of your mind when you want to. You understand? I mean, it's not magic. It's not some miracle where you can know things that you've never studied. You've got to put the water in to get the water out. But now if you study in class, you listen to the teachers, you do those things, then you'll be able to get the water back out. True or false?
True.
How does that feel? Good. Now, see yourself out here in school on Fridays. Fridays has been kind of a scary day. Now tell Nancy out here that was scared on Fridays what it is that she needs to do new and different to be prepared for Fridays and what she now knows that she can do she didn't know before.
Use our mind.
She's going to do what?
Use her mind.
Use her mind? And you now know a lot more about how to use your mind, don't you? So think about everything we've just taught you because we just dumped a ton of information on you. You understand that? Any confusion, any thoughts, any questions for me so far? Okay. Then I'm finally ready to teach you what it is that we've actually taught you a little clearer so you can understand it. But I wanted you to do it all first by yourself so you would understand what you've done and where you've gone in your mind. I'm going to teach you the parts of our spiritual mind now. I want you to, now you were remembering your address right over here.
Mm-hmm.
So do you remember what your address was like right here?
Yep.
Okay. Now I want you to bring your address back here into actual memory, which your memory, your imagination is from about here to here, but your memory is from about here to here. I want you to bring your address to your memory right back here and tell me what just changed right there with your address. See your address and feel it, hear it from back here.
More detail, I guess. Like I can see more of the view. Like I used to only be able to see the number of the house and the side, but now I'm able to see like the driveway and the cars and the grass. And
That's different than when you had it up here. Feel that movement in your head. Move it up here. Feel that movement inside. You feel that movement moving back and forth now?
Yeah, I do.
Now, move it back here again. Practice moving around in your head. Move it back. Got it?
Yeah.
Move it back again. See the difference? Feel it right here.
Whoa, that's like really cool.
Okay. Move it back here again. Tell me when you got it back here. Got your address?
Yeah.
Now tell me what happens to your address when you bring it over here.
Turns into a painting.
Down here.
Drawing.
Turn it down here.
A sketch.
Okay. Down here.
A blueprint.
Okay. Bring it back up here. Bring it back over here.
Okay.
Tell me what's happened to it as you bring it down here.
It becomes. It becomes kind of like something's happening with it. Like I can still see the same thing, but like I feel something different.
Okay. Down here? Is that feeling something positive or negative?
It's positive.
Okay. As opposed to put it back over here, move it over here. What's that feeling?
Well, it's not a good feeling.
Okay. Now bring it back into balance. Put it in balance. So what did you just learn about your memory?
That I can make it too good that it's not true. I can make it terrible that I just don't care. Or I can bring it into reality where it's as perfect as I can get it without, like, without overdoing it.
Perfect. Good for you.
You will discover that when the intelligence is in emotions, that you will have awareness of it being in the area from the back top of the head, going down the back of the head.
Okay, the other thing that we want to do then is we want to teach you how to go into your emotions.
Okay.
So you just locked into your memories and you're familiar with where that's at.
Mm-hmm.
To do that, although deductively we have people kind of look down to the left because deductively that's how we lock into those. So if you just kind of look down to the left, only this time we want you to just go find a very happy time. Maybe a Christmas or a birthday party or one of those happiest times in your life, you know, one of those most pleasurable times to you. Just tell me when you feel that feeling right there. Go find it.
Okay.
Now, what I want you to do at this point is, as part of the imagination and re-upping on this, is I want you to also recognize that you're in control of your feelings and your emotions in the sense that I want you to get really happy. Double it. And I want you to double that. And double that again.
Seriously.
Seriously. How does that feel?
That's good.
Do you want any more?
I think I'm good.
A little more?
Sure.
Double it again.
Yeah, that's a good time.
It's a good time. Double it again.
Seriously. Oh.
Okay. Just enjoy that right there for a minute. And in just a second, I'm going to count from 1 to 3. When I count to 3, very quickly, I want you to look at my hand again. 1, 2, and 3. Right here. Look right here. Look right here. Right over here. Outward. Right here. What happened to those locked on emotions?
They just faded.
They just faded.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the way we would describe that is I would probably call it that we detached from it. And that part of our mind that you're feeling move around there, we used to call that like your intelligence,
Mm-hmm.
that actually moves within us and our side of our spirit, you know, that we actually sense and move. So we can either attach to our emotions or we can detach from them. Some people want to use the words, you know, we associate with them or we disassociate from them, you know, those kinds of phrases. Is that the way you would describe that?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was just
You just let it go?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, one more time. Look down to the left, or lock onto it. This time, though, I want you to double it again. Let me know when you've doubled 3 times. You there?
Yeah.
Only this time I want you to come back slowly and bring that feeling back into the room with you.
Bring it back very slowly. Hang on to it. Bring it back. Bring it back. Just be here very happy with us. Very happy to be here?
Yeah.
Now you know how to be happy all the time.
That's good.
That's good?
That's good.
So the point here is that in our minds, in our intelligence, we can attach to our emotions or we can detach from our emotions. And what most people have done when they come in here for therapy and for hypnotherapy is that they've allowed their intelligence to be fixated onto an old negative emotion. They brought that forward into the current moment in time, and they're reliving that old feeling and those old thoughts constantly. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So you now know that you have the ability to attach or detach. Look right here. Look over here. Let it go. Look right here. Gone?
Yes.
Okay. But if you wanted to reattach to that at any time you chose to, do you now know that you could do that?
Mm-hmm.
And you could choose to bring that feeling back into the current moment in time, or you could choose to let it go.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that then would also apply to any negative ill feeling or any negative thought that you wanted to have. You have that same ability if you consciously thought about it and chose to do something different. True or false?
True.
Valuable?
Valuable.
If you just look down to the left, and I want you to go find a very happy time. You know, maybe at Christmas when you were a kid, something special.
Mm-hmm.
So look down to the left and go lock onto that feeling and just let me know when you've got it.
Got it.
You got it? Mm-hmm. Now what I want you to do is I want you to feel it stronger. You're really happy. I mean, this was really a happy time. Double it. Tell me when you got a double. Now that you're just really, really happy, I mean, this is just a great time. I want you to double it again. Double that emotion. Double it again. Double it again. And double it again. I mean, how happy do you want to get?
That's great.
Double it again. What are you learning right there?
That you can just do it.
Yeah, that we can lock onto our old emotions, and if we want to amplify them in our imagination, we can,
Mm-hmm.
right? Now, I want you to very quickly look at my hand. Look at my hand. Look right here. Look right here. Where did that feeling go?
Kind of gone.
Detached?
Yeah, a little.
Yeah? So it's not there like it was.
Mm-mm.
So the point here is that if you can lock onto an old feeling and you can amplify it in your imagination, you can make it bigger and bigger and bigger. And we like to say you can amplify any feeling or thought from 0 to 2,500 times in your imagination.
Mm-hmm.
And when you were amplifying that feeling, you were feeling that in your imagination. That feeling kept getting stronger and stronger and stronger. True?
Yeah.
Okay. But what I want you to recognize again is that if we have the power to turn our emotional content up, then we also must have the power to turn our emotional content down. And if we were to turn it all the way down, then we can learn to turn it off. And we've worked on some of that before. Mm-hmm. True. But I want to practice that with you a couple more times. Look back down to the left. Lock onto that happy feeling. Let me know when you got it.
Okay.
Double it and double it again. And I'm going to count from 3. I want you to immediately look at my hand. 1, 2, 3. Look right here. Look right here. Look over here. Where did that feeling go?
Gone.
It's gone. Now, once again, it's not that it's gone. It's that your intelligence inside your mind, that piece of you that's moving around in there, that is you,
Mm-hmm.
is not attached to it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not that it's gone. It's just you have chosen not to attach to that.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This time go lock onto it again. Look down to the left one more time, please. And as you look down to the left this time, I want you to amplify it. Double it. Double it again. Really happy this time. I mean, really happy.
and double it again. Let me know when you have it amplified. Though this time I want you to come back into the room with it, bring it back slowly. We're not going to go 1, 2, 3 and jerk you out of it. I want you to 1, 2, and 3 very slowly bring it back with you. Even amplify it a little more. Bring it back with you and look over here at me, please. Got it?
Yeah.
Now I wish you could see how bright your eyes are and how happy you are right now.
I don't want to cry. It's weird.
Because?
I feel really happy.
You feel really happy?
It's weird.
Now you know how to be happy all the time.
Yeah, no kidding. Silly.
Isn't it great to be that happy?
Yeah.
Now, this is a real key learning point for you, because in the past what you've been doing is you've been going down and locking into the old negative experiences, the old negative emotions, and you've been bringing those back with you into the current moment in time. And that's how you've been letting the past ruin the current present.
Right.
You got it? How cool is that? You understand it, don't you? Okay. Now you can choose to hang on to that at this point because you now have control of your own mind, or you can choose to let it go. Okay. Look at my hand, 1, 2, 3. What? Right here? Let it go. Tell me when it's gone. It's gone?
Yeah.
What did you just learn?
The capability of my mind to pull up those emotions and just manipulate my emotions in any way that I like, kind of instantly.
How cool is that?
Yeah, very cool.
So have you been learning how to be more in control of your mind or less in control of your mind through these processes?
More. A lot more.
So as you see the dog there with that resolve, how's that different than being back over here in your memory of it?
It's completely different. It's like I can think this through in a reasonable, good, balanced way and look at the situation and not look at what's happened to me before and it's bound to happen again.
Because that's the lie, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think I do that a lot. From past situations, it's going to be the same.
And that's what we call a fixation. Just because we had that experience one time, now we want to overlay that experience on all future experiences and start to imagine that for some reason every future experience is going to end up just the same as the one we had in the past.
Right. So you react the same way, and instead of responding differently, then you probably are going to get the same reaction, at least half the time.
Yeah.
The imagination can amplify any thought from 0 to 2,500 times, generating stronger emotions. This chart shows the effect of the amplification of the imagination on the accepted predominant belief system behavioral producing thoughts. Behaviors are produced from our emotions. As the imagery amplification increases, so does the intensity of the emotion. The emotional content is to be released and collapsed as the imagination is desensitized. Here is the number one self-limiting belief that most of us have struggled with at one point in our lives. I'm not good enough. If we amplify the thought of I'm not good enough, let's say to 500 times, we may experience some discomfort or uneasiness with attempting new things. If we were to amplify the same thought 1,000 times, we may find our emotional content growing to anxiousness about doing new things, or fears of the unknown, a strong sense of inadequacy. If we were to amplify that same thought 1,500 times, we may feel stressed about any new experience, have real reluctance and hesitation to do anything new. If we amplify that same thought in our imagination up to 2,000 times, we could become discouraged, despondent, unwilling to participate, rebellious towards the change or the opportunity being offered, become contentious, and so forth. At 2,500 times, this same thought can generate despair, hopelessness, feelings of being useless. We now are stuck, and may even become incapacitated. We just don't want to move forward doing anything. Life just doesn't seem worth it because no matter what we do, we're not going to be good enough to do it. The imagination can be our greatest enemy or our greatest ally, depending on how we are using it, positively or negatively, to create positive outcomes or negative results. We teach people how to desensitize the imagination, come back into balance, and experience life in conscious reality. What would it be worth to you to correct the following beliefs and similar problem behaviors in your life? Overcome self-limiting beliefs that are being highly amplified in the imagination. I could never do that or be like them. That's just not me. I'm not good enough to fill in the blank with whatever it is you are feeling inadequate about. I could never make that happen for me. I'll never accomplish those dreams and goals, so why should I even try? I'm stupid. I always do dumb things. What's wrong with me? How did we learn self-limiting beliefs? Self-limiting beliefs generating self-defeating behaviors generally developed in childhood. These beliefs were taken into our belief system before we had critical factor development, critical thinking ability. We may have taken on beliefs such as, my parents don't love me, and it must be my fault. I'm not as smart as others. If only I had been better. I'm not good enough to, I'm unworthy because. Amplification of these self-limiting beliefs in the imagination from 0 to 2,500 times generates inappropriate self-defeating behaviors and compounding emotional content. We teach you again how to desensitize your imagination and overcome these self-limiting beliefs. What would it be worth to you to correct the following habits or similar problem behaviors in your life? I'll just sleep in a little longer, or I wish I could sleep. I can make up my work and studies later or tomorrow. I know I should exercise, but again, I'm just too busy. Procrastination is my biggest problem. I'll really get started on that important project tomorrow. I'm sorry I missed the deadline. I just couldn't help it. Excuses instead of responsibility and accountability generally cost us what we want most in our lives. Our clients resolve old issues and establish new positive behaviors. Stress management and relaxation. They overcome problems with sleeping. They can learn pain control and do painless childbirthing. Sports performance enhancement is now well accepted in the professional athletic community. Self-hypnosis training for sports performance enhancement is now accomplished by most professional athletes. Unresolved death of a loved one is well addressed with hypnotherapy. Memory improvement, finding lost items, study habits and test-taking relaxation. Anger management. Those who are contentious or who lack self-esteem and confidence, especially teenagers, benefit from these processes and procedures. Bedwetting and thumb-sucking with teens, self-control and self-discipline issues are well addressed with hypnotherapy. Enhanced sales performance, overcoming cold call reluctance. We assist people to pick up that 50-pound telephone and make that next new prospecting call. We teach people how to be free of fear of public speaking and be free of fears of flying, heights, and other behavioral issues. Our clients conquer their maladaptive behaviors. Maladaptive behaviors are habits or consistent inappropriate choices which cause harm to ourselves and others we love. Weight management, we are either overeating or undereating, and again we need impulse control. Stop smoking, impulse control, and address the original issues of why we smoked in the first place. gambling, problems again with impulse control. Electronic games. Pornography is ruining many of our families and homes today. I just recently had a dear friend who had a breakup in her marriage through pornography and the effects that it was causing in the marriage. It's now become a national epidemic and is well addressed with hypnotherapy, and especially our mind management processes of helping people once again to control their out of control imaginations. Excessive TV and other time and life wasting maladaptive behaviors are all addressed well with hypnotherapy and our mind management processes and procedures. We are to learn and have impulse control, the ability to say no, and disassociate from inappropriate thoughts and actions. We do so with mind management skills. Then said Jesus, continue in my word, then are you my disciples indeed, and ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. The truth gives us the opportunity to utilize our agency and choice appropriately. We can be set free, but we must embrace truth. No more excuses for failure in advance. We are to accept responsibility and accountability for our choices and actions. Using agency and truth, applying discernment, and choosing wisely earns our freedom of mind as we apply new choices, decisions, and actions. We propose that everything ought to become a conscious choice in our critical thinking abilities. We have been empowered with agency, the ability to think and choose, which makes us responsible and accountable for our actions. People need to know how to be mentally tough, being able to disassociate from negative comments and avoid being offended from experiences had by most of us throughout our daily activities. If we are too easily offended and isolate ourselves, it keeps us from the very people we need to be with to overcome the negative feelings and be free again. We teach and train people in mental toughness, the same as we do the professional coaches and athletes we work with in our sports mind management programs. Inappropriate negative thoughts accumulate in the subconscious mind as negative emotional stress. This stress compounds over time in our imagination. This imaginary compounding increases negative emotional energy, and if not understood and regularly desensitized and released, becomes crippling to our motivational drive, performance, and personal health. Learn the overall health benefits of pondering and meditation, achieving deep rest, relaxation, and sleep. Learn how to be more mentally proficient and effective in handling the increased stresses of life today. Attend mind management trainings. These classes are generally 16 hours of training, accomplished in a combination of online videos, virtual online classroom attendance, or in-person participation in Farmington, Utah at the school. We guarantee our work and your success with these processes, but you must do the work. To be successful, you must do the work. The work is watch the training videos and understand the processes, attend the mind management classes in Farmington or online, do the homework, study the course book, listen to the CDs, journal experiences of change, and learn to be happy. Learn self-hypnosis or pondering. Learn and apply and practice mind management processes daily. We are to make all of our life's experiences good by learning to do good from the lessons learned from the experiences. We make our life good by doing good from the lessons learned from the experiences. Enjoy a free mind and learn to maintain it utilizing mind management. Join a 16-hour group of mind management trainings and get started on clearing your mind of past fixations and problems. Please schedule your personal attendance in Farmington, Utah, in a mind management group or for individual sessions with Dennis at Advanced Health Clinic. Phone 801-447-8680. Or to schedule online attendance of a mind management group, or to schedule individual sessions of hypnotherapy online utilizing Skype and so forth with Dennis Parker. Phone 801-628-0693 or email Dennis at wdennisparker@msn.com. Please visit our website at certifiedhypnotherapytraining.com. Thank you. We look forward to visiting with you in the near future.